Deal breakdown time. I'm going to break down a deal that we did that we made $35,000 off of one phone call. And this was a really tricky deal. And I'm going to break it down because this one was actually in the probate court. And not only that, the judge in the probate court wanted an appraisal done on the property. Check this out. Hey everybody, it is Brent Daniels, and again, it is a deal breakdown where we break down actual deals that my business is doing here in Arizona. I say Arizona and not Phoenix today because this one was actually in northern Arizona. It was in a town called Flagstaff, and it's about 2 hours north of Phoenix. Now what we are finding is we're still doing considerable business in Phoenix, but when we start stretching our market a little bit further north, we're getting some phenomenal deals and people aren't really active in the market, which makes it really incredible. But this deal actually had another offer on it. So let me break this down. Let me break it through the filters of the 4 pillars of pre-qualifying, which, just so that you remember, number 1 is the condition of the house. Number 2 is their timeline to sell. Number 3 is their motivation. And number 4 is the price. So let's start with the condition of the property. This property was completely beat up. I mean, the inside, good bones. It had a new roof, but good bones, but the inside, total cosmetic remodel. It needs total updating, okay? This property literally, when I walked through it, and I actually personally walked through this house. I haven't done this in 18 months, which is crazy. But I personally walked through this house. There was like people that were squatting on like sleeping bags in the room, like no electricity on. It was rough, right? This was beat up. People had stolen some of the copper out of some of the wiring. They had taken the plumbing out. I'm not exactly sure what they were using it for, but I assume some nefarious reason. So this needed a complete remodel. Right, so cosmetically, it probably needed about $60,000. It was a 1,600 square foot home, so we made sure that we adjusted our offer based on that. Now, the interesting thing about this house was, if I had a driving for dollars person in this market, I think we would have got this deal a lot sooner, because you won't believe this. It literally had a for sale by owner sign in the front yard with the price that they wanted. Like, this is like crazy. This is like a unicorn situation. People never put the price of the property on their for sale by owner because they want to kind of negotiate and kind of feel it out. But this person was motivated. And when we get to motivation, her motivation was, unfortunately, her daughter had passed away. And this was the mother that was inheriting the property through the probate court. And this gets a little bit tricky. Now, I know a lot of you guys out there know that I push you to call the probate properties as much as possible, because 75%, statistics show 75% sell within the first 90 days. These are really good. Now, some of them are in great condition. They can just be put on the market and sold, and it's great. But some of these people have lived there forever. Some of these are rental properties. Some of these are land. Like, it is a great opportunity to get a house that somebody inherits, and then all of a sudden they inherit the stress of this property. Because the mother of this property didn't have $60,000 to invest in this property. She knew that the property was worth more than she wanted, but she wanted it done quickly. Remember, people will trade equity for speed and convenience. That's what we are. This is not real estate. This is a pawn shop. Wholesaling is a pawn shop. It's one of my favorite sayings from Tom Kroll, my mentor. It's a pawn shop. People know going into a pawn shop, they're not going to get full price for the guitar that they want to sell, but they need cash now. It's the same with houses. Okay, so her timeline was right now. Now, what we didn't know is that we needed approval from the probate court on the contract. This is something different. I thought it had already been through the probate, because she said all the paperwork is done, everything is clear, I'm the owner, I can sell it, everything is good. Well, it wasn't good. And this happens a lot. This really happens a lot when properties are in probate. People think they already own the house when they actually don't own the house. Okay? So We gave her an offer. She had an offer at 185. We said, will you take 190? If we gave you 190, would you sell it to us cash as is? We pay the closing costs. That's net to you. You pay off whatever loans and whatever liens you have, but the rest goes in your pocket. Will that work? She said, yes. I personally went there and signed the contract with her. She wanted to meet somebody face to face. I have a cabin up in Flagstaff, so I met with her. It was great. It was like the good old days of going on appointments, but everything was already set up because we had her pre-qualified. Remember, you need to pre-qualify 100% of the people, 100% of the time. Condition, timeline, motivation, price. So we knew she wanted 190. We knew the condition needed $60,000 worth of work. We knew her motivation was she couldn't fix it up. She just inherited it. And we knew her timeline was she wanted to get rid of it as soon as possible. Because not only was it a financial stress for her to inherit this property, it's the property that her daughter passed away. Like, this was like emotional scars, emotional damage that she had. She wanted to get rid of it. And you need to have a huge amount of empathy. The only reason we truly got this deal is because my acquisition manager, Julie, her emotional intelligence is off the charts and her empathy is through the roof, and we really made this a smooth process for her. But then the courts got involved and the judge wanted a formal appraisal done. Listen to this. We have an offer at 190. They need 2 weeks to do an appraisal on it. So we're sitting there, kind of waiting around, just twiddling our thumbs, hoping that it doesn't torpedo the deal. Listen to this. The appraisal came back at $230,000. $230,000, right? The judge accepted our offer because of the condition of the property and because of the distress of the seller. She said, you know what? If they're giving you cash, take it. I will accept this. It goes to the courts. They accepted it. Boom. We get it for $190,000. Now, it wasn't a traditional wholesale deal because I actually closed on it. I think that when you're dealing with courts, when you're dealing with a title company that you typically don't use because the courts required us to use the title company, I just wired in the funds. Boom. It was done. The next day, we sold it for $225,000. Okay, $225,000. $35,000 more. It was one cold call, and the list that we were calling on was just absentee owners. So it was the tax records showed that the mother actually owned it. They had done the recording of it, but it hadn't gone through the courts. So it showed that she was the owner of it, and she had a different address than the property address. So that shows up as an absentee owner. We called it up. We had the conversation. We don't get that deal unless we talk to people. We don't get that deal unless we're being proactive. We don't get that deal if we're waiting around for her to call us. We called her. We made the deal. It was phenomenal. First, we got the biggest thank you of all time from that seller. She just couldn't be more happy. She was so happy that it went smooth, that there wasn't a ton of inspections ripping the home apart, that she got what she wanted, and she could move on with her life. Right? It is so important. Listen to me. People out there in the marketplace, anywhere from 6 to 10%, statistics show, are in distress. It's your job to go find them. It's your job to talk to them. It's your job to have a huge amount of empathy for the situation that they're in, and you need to solve their problem by giving them a cash as is offer and getting that property off their plate. Now, the guy we sold it to is actually going to live in the property and fix it up as he does. He lives here in Phoenix. He's going to go up there for the next 6 weeks and fix up this property. He couldn't be more elated because the ARV, the fixed up value of this property, is $380,000. $380,000. This is a smoking deal. He's got an unbelievable opportunity to bring in a ton of income for himself. So it's a win-win all the way around. This business is the best ever. It's the best of all time. So go out there. Do not hesitate. Use this as inspiration, as a springboard to get on the phone as soon as you're done with this video and talk to people. If you're interested in joining the most proactive group in real estate investing, make sure you go to wholesalinginc.com/TTP. Go check it out, see what the program's all about. Go check out people that are actually having results in it. You're gonna have to scroll and scroll and scroll because there is so many successful people that have been in the program. If it feels good in your gut, sign up for a call. The button's right there. It'll be the best call of your year. Until next time, guys, you're the best. See ya.